Alrighty, guys, welcome back to another session. Today's date is March 20th. It is a Friday. We came out with another break even. I actually lost 20 bucks, $10. It was $15, but break even on the day. Yeah, this is fucking annoying, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. Super annoying in general, but fuck, what can you do, bro? This is just what I have been dealing with every day, bro. Literally every fucking day is just this. I literally wake up and that's all I get, bro. Every single morning. Like, let's go and take a look at the last entire week of the 10 a.m. plays, right? So you got, this is your 10 o'clock candle. Sorry, hold on. Yeah, it's just been annoying, bro. I ain't going front about that. This is your 10 a.m. candle. I didn't trade Wednesday because Wednesday was FOMC. So minus Wednesday, Thursday, Wednesday. Let's go to Tuesday. Where's 10 a.m.? Oh, the 10 a.m. candle's not entirely that bad here on this Tuesday, right? This is where we opened up at the top of the day, and what do we do for the rest of the day? Consolidate. Okay, so that's Tuesdays. Let's go and look at Monday's 10 a.m. candle. From Monday, 10 a.m.'s candle, New York. Right, so this is what we dealt with every single day for this week, was literally just a consolidation. I don't trade Wednesday because I have FOMC, but Thursday, consolidation. Friday, consolidation. So it's like I got break even again. And let's just go over the trade here. It was an NQ short to trade down to these lows. And yeah, that's just basically what that is, right? So all right, cool. So let's do it on this guy instead. Price action is just ass right now. So I just got out of break even. Well, minus 20 bucks. Let's say 20 bucks because it's like 18. So minus 20 bucks on the day, which is basically break even. But nonetheless, let's go over it and talk about why we did the things we did and everything else in between. Sorry, I'm a little annoyed. That's just it because it's just been a boring week, bro. I ain't going front about that. Like, bro, every day for my 10 a.m. has just been chopped, straight up chopped. And yeah, so let us run it through. So taking a look here on the daily time frame, we can obviously take notice that we are heading down to this low. That's where we was drawing to. Coming into the morning from my 9:30 analysis, however, I was bullish. Why was I bullish? Was because we do have this daily C2 here, and I wanted to trade up to these highs on YM, just because if we're taking a look at weekly profile type deal, I was looking at TGIF, right? So with this weekly profile, with the weekly open and everything like that, I wanted to see YM actually trade up higher coming into the day, because we did have that clear daily profile up to the highs as we had this internal gap. With this being said, we had that open low Thursday reversal, right? And then we do take notice of this Thursday reversal. I believe that we also swept out this low prior. Oh, no. No, yeah. Oh, yeah, we did sweep out this low prior. So at 621, we already swept out that low prior. And I wanted to see us start to displace towards all of these failure swings on that open, low, high close of the daily candle with no significant high in play. Did that play out for the TGIF as well? What I wanted to see was that weekly candle open, high, low, and I wanted to trade the wick of this candle up to that internal draw, so that way that's what I wanted to like literally do, but that didn't happen. And price was obviously showing us to go short. With that being said, on the shorts, we do take notice that NQ did have a lot better order flow, and now my original focus for us to go and trade higher was destroyed for sure, but I just flipped my bias back down to being bearish, as I wanted to see this low become the drawn liquidity. Why? Because YM took this low and is failing to reverse from it, meaning that NQ can go for the lagging asset logic. I don't have it saved, but the DOL lagging asset logic was in play here. With that being said, I did want to try to trade YM because YM did tap into this low second as NQ tapped into here, and I wanted to see if I can get an onside with YM down to just this low, but that opportunity didn't present itself to me. I did have this 15-minute C2 from this accumulation, right? So we had this consolidation or accumulation, manipulation here, manipulation, and I was looking for the distribution back down to the downside. And did that happen as well? Yes, it did. Problem with this for me, the problem with this one for me was I like to put my stops at the 15-minute swings, and I definitely don't really want to go and aim for fucking a 400-point move on a Friday past all relevant levels. So that idea was kind of chopped to me. Then what did I do here was I actually looked at this 10 a.m. opening price, and I wanted to see if I could just get my stop loss to the top of this 10 a.m. candle to catch up with where NQ went and hit, right? We wanted this to become my draw on liquidity on YM. This was my original thought process of trying to get on side with this. So with that being said, I'm looking for a nice 10 a.m. open high-low close. We do have this V-shaped reversal away from that accumulation highs, telling me this manipulation is very valid for us to go down lower. We do have this CISD and everything like that. However, I did not trust this move and everything because of this signature and price, which was telling me I don't trust this CISD here or this OB personally. Small body OB, very choppy, no delivery. Here's your entry with your stop loss as fucking low resistance liquidity. You know what I mean? Not entirely my forte as we're making deep retracements here, and you could take notice of all this low resistance liquidity, and we are also tapping into pretty much all of this accumulation lows. And if I was going to tap into the accumulation lows, I could see 10 a.m. being a bigger, higher time frame candle move upwards first to sweep out that fucking baby, to sweep out this bit. This wasn't convincing to me, right? So to sweep out all of this highs here, and then we could have traded lower. By the time I realized that we were going lower, this was my stop loss like that, and that's not viable again because I'm not trying to shoot for a 300-point move on a Friday. So the YM trade did get thrown out the window, and they just went straight to this draw after that, and that's where I didn't have a trade, right? I couldn't enter here because there was no confidence in this area for this to be considered my stop. Is it a valid stop loss? I mean, I guess you could call it valid, right? We do have a OB, opposing candle, fair value gap. Is it a good one? No, in my personal opinion. Small body, very wicky, not really strong closures. By the time we do have strong closures here and here, it's already far gone, right? And now what do we also have at the stop loss was all of this low resistance liquidity. So that really wasn't for me either. I like to see more. I can't fucking say, oh, this is a closure because no, this is a wick. These are the times where I do take notice of the price does rip upwards, sweep out here, and then the continuation down lower. And this is where I get my CISD is here, right? So I can enter like this, and now we have a better protected swing from a relevant level to trade this down lower. And this is also going to give me a new 15-minute swing formation as well from here to here. And then that would give you your 15-minute C2 forming the high of that 10 a.m. candle to continue lower. Did that happen? No. So with that being said, I didn't have any trades here. We just let that pass. And then I just focused my energy on NQ. So with NQ, we tap into this relevant levels. Boom. Tap into this relevant level. What phase and price do we get? We get an accumulation. So from this accumulation, I'm just waiting for a 15-minute C2. Do we get that? Yes. My original plan was to wait for this gap to be tapped into. Did it get tapped into? No. Being that we are in very bearish order flow on the higher time frame, and right now, I really didn't anticipate for this gap to get tapped into once we started to displace away from it. So with that being said, I'm looking here at this 15-minute C2. My trade was literally this 15-minute C3 like this. My stop loss was the 15-minute C2's high, and I was shooting for that SMT break logic. With that being said, I do take notice of this V-shaped reversal. I did get in prior to this 3-minute CISD. Reasoning why I got in prior to this 3-minute CISD is because we did have this V-shape. We did have this inversion fair value gap here, and I didn't enter until this 15-minute close, but I also waited for this push up. Once we had that push up on that 15-minute candle, we did have this sweep, and then we did have this CISD here. So with that being said, I entered on that 15-minute open high, low, entry, stop loss still at the 15-minute highs, just because I don't really trust like these type of highs. For me personally, I don't have the full confidence in them. My full invalidation is going to be these highs here. With that being said, I entered like that. Stop loss was up to those highs. I actually got a better fill than that. I had like right here, and then I was shooting for my 2R. Well, actually I was shooting for 1.5 because of the fact of I'm just going for the SMT break, right? With that being said, it was like this. And you can also take notice of what? An accumulation, manipulation, looking for that distribution down lower, right? And that's literally your closure, like this. You could have went like that and you would have got 2R out of it. No, you wouldn't have. You would have just got stopped, right? But with that being said, your accumulation, manipulation, V shape on the 1 minute time frame, it's there. Like all the things is there already. But with that being said, I got stopped out of break even. You crossed this low. At first, I didn't. Right. So at first, I didn't go break even, because of just like something I wanted to try out, and was not going break even at the lowest point of the day, but instead trailing. Right. So I did have I trailed down to this level. Just because now this is your protected level, as we already displaced lower, and then this candle ripped up and this candle kind of just stayed here as well. So that's where I was like, okay, cool. With it going and ripping up that fucking aggressively, bro, like, dog, we had a 1 minute candle that's like a 70 point fucking candle, 50 point candle, sorry. So 1 minute 50 point candle, and it was very aggressive to the upside, and we started to consolidate. I was like, you know what, I don't like this price action. I don't like the way that we fed back into this range. This looks like a consolidation to me now. I don't want to participate in this anymore. So I just took it off at minus 20 bucks. So with that being said, down $20 on a day, basically break even. Yeah, and it's just fucking chop fest, bro. Literally every single morning for the 10 a.m. candle has been a fucking chop fest. Literally every single day, bro, this week. So we had this 10 a.m. chop fest. Let's mark out all the 10 a.m. candles. And I don't trade Wednesday, so we'll mark out Wednesday just for shits and giggles. Honestly, probably should have traded Wednesday. Fucking, it looked like the nicest day this whole week. 10 and Monday's 10. Right, so just basing it off of all of these 10 a.m. candles, let's go and take a look at what it did. So here's your 10 a.m. candle, Friday's 10 a.m. candle, fucking Thursday's 10 a.m. candle. Shit, this is the nicest day, which is Wednesday. Had nice order flow, nice everything was delivering and shit like that. So this actually isn't bad. All right, let's see if there's a setup here. Clear daily profile, open, high, low, close, sweeping of this, target to here. Drawing liquidity, 2R. You know what I mean? You just have to hold for a pretty decent time period. Stops can go here to that 15-minute C3's high, and you just shoot this fucker down to that low. Boom. All right. Did I trade that? No, definitely not. Cool. Because this is FOMC day. I don't trade FOMC day. But back to what we was doing. Here's your Tuesday's 10 a.m. candle, ass, and then your Monday's 10 a.m. Oh, that was your Monday. And then Tuesday, we just opened up at the highest point of the day. So with that being said, it's just like New York. Wednesday was the only really good New York, as you can take notice of the open high manipulation, accumulation, manipulation, distribution, range low, range high, range low, go down to there, right? And then you do have what gaps. Gaps get confirmed by 15-minute swings, and this is also from a tap into irrelevant, and then your failure to manipulate equals lower prices, right? So with that being said, your failure to manipulate gives you a retracement. 15-minute C2, trade the 15-minute C3 downwards. So let's actually see if we can zoom in on this to see if there was a true setup. Sorry, not just like that. That's how it would look. I can almost guarantee you. I didn't even look at Wednesday, so that's probably how the setup would look right there. So boom, once the 15-minute closes here, I would have entered like that. Actually, no. You can enter. I would have actually waited because I don't like this push back up. But when you have that strong closure through, that would be your CISD. And then I would utilize this strong closure through as my full body as my stop loss. And then that would be your entry like that. For that 10 a.m. continuation, do we get 2R out of it? There's your 2R. See it. Stops is at break even now, probably. Yeah, definitely will put my stops at break even now. And then there will be a 2R. My stops would are in break even as soon as you cross this low. Right? Yeah, that's just basically that. Would have got stopped out at maybe would have got stopped out at 2R there. Fuck, I don't know, bro. I don't know. Nonetheless, that's just basically that, dog. So break even on the day. I am down 1R on the week total. Yeah, I took one loss. I believe it was Tuesday's. I took a loss here on Tuesday as I took this long right there. I took this long here on a 15-minute pullback to hit this continuation higher, and then we got stopped out. Reasoning why this one lost is just we were too high in the range, right? We were too high in the range. We tapped into a relevant level. I'm looking at a continuation through as we was failing to manipulate. Why was I wanting to see a continuation through? We did have further draws above us, right? So with that being said, there's your further draw, and you can take notice of when the market actually reverse and start to make its way downwards off of that draw on liquidity. So with that being said, that's where I took my loss this week. And away from there, I had a bunch of break evens. I had 3 break evens this week. So 3 break evens, 1 loss. Not a bad week in my personal opinion. But as for gold, no entries given for me. Obviously, because 10 a.m. does open all the way down lower. And one thing I know about gold as well is I don't trade gold on Fridays because Fridays are usually trash on gold. It's just really low volume on gold. But with that being said, I am going to be starting to look into gold a little bit more. Yeah. But good day overall. I mean, break even on the day. Kind of annoying. Yeah, kind of annoying, but fuck, what can I say, dog? This week has been a little bit more, I wouldn't say tough. So here's the thing, right? Here's the thing, too, as well. As a trader and as somebody who's fucking growing as a trader, been in the game for a while, it's like the market's not tough. The market's just not fucking flowing right now, so to say, right? Like, price action may be tough, but you can't wish for better price action. You can't. Like, at least from the way that I trade is, you can't just wish for that to happen and fucking stress about that not happening and everything like that. How about you just become a better trader? You can't fucking control the market, right? You can't control the market. You can't control what happens. You can't control this. You can't control that. Control what you can control, and that is your risk management. You can control if you want to enter. You can control your reads on market conditions. You can control your fucking you can control your emotions, your discipline, all that bullshit. But basically, it's like, don't wish for the market to get better. Just wish for you to get better. Don't wish for things to fucking start flowing better for you to stuff. Just wish for you to fucking improve. You know what I mean? Get better as a trader. Don't just stay disciplined. Don't fucking put on risks when there's nothing there for you. You know, like, just That's just basically it, bro. Never go and try to wish for outside factors that you cannot control to go and get better for you to do to participate. How about you just get better and you just wait for it to participate, right? I was watching a video yesterday. I highly recommend you guys go and watch it as well. I'll post it in my post section. It's just like a little mindset thing. It's like, what he talks about is how what he talks about is like just not wish like I just said, fucking don't try to control the outside factors. Control the inside factor. You know what I mean? You don't get paid enough because you're not good enough. Become the person to get good enough, and then you'll get paid enough. Simple as that. You know what I mean? Being a trader means sticking to your edge and fucking following this. One thing I can say too as well that I want to take note for myself is I did have a little emotions today, right? I did have a little bit of emotions coming not coming into the day, but it's just like when we had this push down. Because we could see that NQ wanted to go down to this low, became obvious, and it ran away from me. And then we did see this run away from me as well. So that YM and NQ ran away from me before the 10 a.m. time period. And it kind of got to me, right? It kind of got to me. It made me think like, oh, fuck, dude, what the fuck? I'm like, it got to me. And then all I did was I backed out. I read my paper. I wrote down my plan. What am I waiting for? Why am I waiting for it? I trusted my fucking data. I trusted all the work that I put in fucking over all of this time period. And I literally just like I don't do all these hours and hours and hours and hours of fucking back testing, data, journaling, all of this shit for me to fucking break from my plan. And that's the way you gotta look at it, right? Like, you're stressing over fucking nothing. If it doesn't belong to you, it doesn't belong to you. And that's what I had to remind myself. And yeah, I got put back at peace from there. But other than that, I'm going to log off because I'm rambling again. I always tend to ramble in the morning. But nonetheless, break even on the day. -1 on the week. Not my best week. But then again, great fucking risk management in my opinion. Especially the way that I trade and things like that, right? It's kind of unfortunate that we are going through this down period, but it's okay. You know, that's what trading is, and there's always going to be up periods, there's going to be down periods. We just got to wait for ours, right? Other than that, doesn't really matter. Wins, loss. If you guys did good, fuck it. If you guys did bad, fuck it. If you guys want to do better, fuck it. Have a great weekend, and catch you guys in the next session. Peace.